Now, let's talk a little bit about this new Joyner Lucas song titled Devil's Work. A lot of people have been talking about this one, and it is for a reason, because it's a very powerful track with a very powerful message. So as always, let's not waste any time and let's talk about it. So the song starts off with Joyner inside a church with a Bible on his left hand and a Henny bottle on the right, and that kind of gave us a lot of clues. One of them is obviously this track is gonna be connected to God somehow. But on that first verse though, he starts off by saying, "I'm staring at this Bible as I keep glancing. Dear Lord, I got questions and I need answers. Trying to understand your vision, all I see is damage, just a bunch of dead bodies in the street camping." So not only is this connected to God, but it's also connected to death somehow. The entire concept gets solidified very early into the song though, so it's not one of those tracks where you wait all the way till the end and then you have to listen to it once again just to understand what the message truly was.
I ain't trying to disrespect you, I just need answers. I know you watching us from heaven thinking who to say.
On my first listen of the track, for a second I thought that the message Joyner was trying to get across was, let's sacrifice one group of people, aka the ones I deem as bad, and bring back all those other people that we lost. And I'm sure a lot of people also interpret it that way, but what I'm getting from this one is frustration and anger coming from Joyner's side. Not because he's on this high horse talking about I choose who's bad and who's not, therefore we sacrifice them. But it's really all coming from a place of him just venting. This entire song could simply be described as an emotional response to a lot of the bullshit that's been going on in the world, specifically hip-hop, because on one part of the track he mentions the late Nipsey Hussle, and this is what he says about him.
Got these children getting murdered while they double dutching. Wonder why the fuck you take Nipsey Hussle from us. Damn, you took a true king, a true brother from us.
As you could hear, Joyner said, "Wonder why the fuck you take Nipsey Hussle from us. Damn, you took a true king, a true brother from us." And then looking at some other important parts, right here he mentions Biggie, he mentions Big Pun, and he also mentions XXX Tentacion. The line after that, as you can see, Donald Trump is also mentioned, and then on this part, both Pac and Suge Knight are mentioned. There's also a couple of other names like Lil Snoop and R. Kelly that were mentioned throughout the entire song, but I'm not gonna go over all of them. The point is though, I feel like Joyner is offering people, but most of all himself, a different perspective and perhaps thought pattern on things. The concept of why do the good die young isn't really anything new. We've all had that thought cross our minds whenever someone who had a very bright future ahead of them, who's young, dies. The most important thing, in my opinion, Joyner Lucas did with Devil's Work was give us a little bit to chew on, make us question why things are the way they are in relation to the real ones dying and the fake ones being lit. Word to my man's J. Cole. By the way, I just noticed that line from Middle Child says a lot about Devil's Work. I think that's exactly what Joyner was going for here. This track is filled with a lot of passion, a lot of emotion. Some people would even call it Joyner Lucas going too far, because he did technically ask God to take Trump with him. Whether or not you want to say that there was a lot of malicious intent with that line, it's up to each one of us to make that assumption. But at the end of the day, Devil's Work is Joyner Lucas's own unique perspective on the devil working over time. And it looks like a lot of people feel like he spoke for them, which is what music is supposed to do. So I think he did a great job with this song. Me personally, I'm a fan of it. I think it sounds great and I think the message is good. By the way, I did notice that the instrumental sounded very similar to the intro from Meek Mill's last album, and I never really realized that Joyner Lucas does have a little bit of Meek Mill inside of him, musically speaking. I can't really be the only one who noticed that. Now, as always, I want to know what you personally think about this new Joyner Lucas song, Devil's Work. How did you personally interpret this record right here? Definitely let me know in the comment section below and let's have a discussion about this.